Ollie buckets on the beach, bitch.
I don't know how, with other shows, like normally that y'all might see me on, I have some sort of witty intro or I like try to throw some in there at the beginning. This right here is a brand new project. It's involving me. Y'all know his face.
What's happening?
Maverick. We also have 3 other members of this collective that were not able to be here today. We had Dwayne, we got Christian, and we got James. Now, eventually, as the process goes on and as we continue to film and record episodes, we'll all be here, so you'll be able to get the full experience of what this is. And I'm still trying to, or we're still trying to come up with a name. I believe we decided either between From the Top Turnbuckle or Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin. So
I like both of them, man. That's something we can discuss later. Yeah. But I think they both are really appealing.
They are.
It definitely will be some Black Guys talking about wrestling.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
Let's talk about some wrestling. But for those that see this that don't know who I am, my name is Wei. I am the host of the Wei's World podcast, one of the hosts of the Wei's World Drunkcast, and co-host of Talking Sports with Wei and Crony. I've been doing podcasting since August of 2019, so I'll be coming up on my 1-year anniversary this August. I am on iHeartRadio, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. All you gotta do is search Wei's World and you'll be able to see any of my broadcasts. If you search Wei's World, you'll see a lot of my stuff come up along with this here too. Thankfully, the guys allowed me to be able to put this on my network, and again, I just thank y'all for that. Like, I appreciate y'all. This is some fire ass content that, like,
real shit, man. So I said, talk your shit, man. You've been doing this for a little minute now, man. You creeping up on a year, man. So I'm proud of you, bro. Like, the consistency and the drive, man, is what's up, man. So
I appreciate that, bro.
That's real shit, man.
But shit, for the people that don't know who you are, let them know who you are.
All right, man. So once again, man, my name is Maverick Savage, Caesar Savage, or however you want to call it, man. I do a lot of digital content creation. I'm mainly a copywriter for a lot of cannabis brands, a lot of retailers, IT, you name it. I just launched a site last week. It's doing pretty well. It's called Gassed Out Gaming. It's pretty much taking the cannabis niche with the adult gamer niche that we know is all happening and trying to bring it all together. So you can check that out, www.gassedoutgaming.com.
Links will be in the description.
Yeah, that'll be there. And it kind of took off for me in the first week, man. I know it's a wrestling podcast, but I do want to say that shit kind of just took off. I went ahead and bought the domain and all that and stuffed it with some good content. My most popular article today is the one talking about why Jet Set Radio Future has not been re-released.
What?
And
what?
Yeah, and it got so much love, man. Like it's a short read, but it got so much love. What's his name? The lead composer took it upon himself to reach out and tell me what's going on. Right. So I was like, that's kind of fucking dope, bro. Like, I felt like a journalist for real with that shit. I was really just trying to put together some other shit, but he happened to see it on Twitter. Mm-hmm. Gassed Out Gaming is also on Facebook, Twitter, and we have our own dedicated website. You'll see all that in the description. But that's pretty much my ventures right now, man. So Maverick Creative Solutions and Gassed Out Gaming is the shit that I focus on, really. I'm a freelancer at heart. I'm a writer at heart, a content creator. I'm an ad guy. marketing guy. That's just what I love to do. So I mean, that's just me, man.
Hey, and shit, that's the thing. You fire at it though, bro. That's the thing. Like, as far as like creating content, as far as like getting ideas and formulating them and putting them out there, you're fired. Like, technically, he's the writer for this show. Technically,
I appreciate that, bro. You know, and I ain't really want to gas myself, but
gas yourself.
But
bro.
when I think about it, like, and I just start thinking about the stats, because I've been doing freelancing, man. I've been taking it serious since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the hardest things is client retention. Is keeping that client and not just one-time projects and stuff like that. So I'm at a beat where right now, bro, I have about 50 clients, bro, to take care of on myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I always reach out to people, you know, whatever their niche may be. A lot of people don't like to write. That's what I'm noticing. A lot of people, it's intimidating. That white page, that blank white page is very intimidating to people.
It can be.
And I don't really feel that way. I feel that way sometimes, but you know what I mean? That's why I keep the gas. But, you know, I'm at a point where now, man, like, it's crazy. The best week I ever had as a freelancer happened the week of the state of the emergency, when a lot of businesses were closed because a lot of my clients are in the cannabis industry. Mm-hmm. They're still essential.
Damn.
So they
For
still,
real?
yeah.
Cannabis is
so it's still essential. So they still needed stuff.
Right.
And I don't know, man. I'm like, shit, man. I'm like Thanos, man. I'm like Don Draper when it comes to that shit, bro. I just cranked that shit out and
with a snap.
And I just do it, bro. Like it's not hard, man, to put yourself in a client's shoes when you know what they want and what they need for their business.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, it's really not that hard. A lot of stuff can be intimidating in a lot of different fields. Like, I'm sure, you know what I mean, you might have had some guests who's very intimidated about being on camera or talking, and it can be, but sometimes, bro, you just gotta
go for it.
Just go for it, man. Like, this, you know, it's like you just take that shot with that podcast now. You know what I mean? You on iHeart now, and you know what I mean? You everywhere now, bro. So you know what I mean? You can't. What they say? You miss every shot you don't take. Bro.
Exactly.
So you know what I mean? I think everybody should, whatever self venture you're trying to do,
push it.
Do it, man.
Go for it.
Do it. Do it.
Like, he's a freelancer. He's a freelancer, and his quality is with the pen. I've learned that my strength is through vocal, and what we've been able to do is capitalize on what our strengths are and move forward. And one of our strengths that we've realized we actually have in common is wrestling. We have a common interest in wrestling. So we gave y'all the topics. We told y'all what we gonna talk about. If y'all didn't catch it in the beginning, we gonna repeat it again. WWE releases.
That shit crazy.
We gonna talk about RVD's Money in the Bank win. We gonna bring that up because Money in the Bank is coming back around.
Right.
So we're gonna talk about Money in the Bank as well. And then also we're gonna talk about Dark Side of the Ring. I haven't seen every single one. He's seen more than I have. I have a library of wrestling knowledge, so I have a bit that I can speak on, quite a few, but as far as I've seen a couple of them. But again, we'll get into that more and more. But for now, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I just want to say, man, on the wrestling knowledge part, man, I know everybody ain't here right now, and to me, it's a hierarchy of the knowledge. Now, it doesn't mean, you know, anybody better or nothing like that, but more so, like, bro, Wei got, when we talking like wrestling knowledge, like, you know, women got his like PhD with the shit, man. Like, it's some shit, you know. My man's Chris Bean, they more so got their PhD shit too. They know all the New Japan shit, excuse my language, they know all the, you know what I mean, the other circuits, the independent circuits, Triple A's, the AEWs, they keep up with all of that, man. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm more so of the casual fan from, you know, the WCW era of
from the classic.
Yeah, you know, I'm pretty much the pretty much how our peers were. You know
Right.
what I mean? But I just took a little bit further. I took a little bit more interest in it, and but you know, so maybe I guess you can say I got my associates in wrestling. I ain't got my PhD like you know you and Bean and Chris. And I think James, if James was here, he'd say the same. He's more on a level with me, like as a fan, and then somebody who takes a little initiative to be like, well, damn, I wonder
What's going
on back here, like you know. So, you know, I do want to speak to that, man. Like y'all really be knowing y'all ish, man. Y'all be knowing what y'all talking about, man. So y'all quick to put me be like, nah, bro, that was that one is. You know what I mean? Like so. It's all love, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to throw that out there for the fans, man. Like, and y'all be able to tell when we all get together and how we bounce off of each other, man. Like, y'all be able to tell, and it'll be really nice, man, because a lot of us will get re-educated.
Basically, this is how y'all need to think of us, right? And I don't want to make this comparison just yet because we're not there yet. But think of us as the black what culture. Think of us as the black cultaholic.
Right.
Think of us as the black WrestleMania.
Right.
Think of us as the black wrestle talk. If you are a black guy and you feel like you do not fit in those other sections, and you want to hear about wrestling from your own,
right,
this is the place for you. If you are a general wrestling fan and you want to hear wrestling from our point of view, definitely tune in as well. For right now, if we could, Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin, because I feel like that's kind of general.
right.
So we'll be right back on Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin. We'll be right back with you when we get into our first topic, these new WWE releases. So stay tuned. All right, so we are back here on Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin. First thing that we're going to talk about is these WWE releases. Quite a few heavy-hitting names, or at least in my opinion, quite a few heavy-hitting names have been released, and yeah, we got quite a bit to talk about. So,
yeah, bro, I want to read y'all these list of names so far. I think it's actually been a few more names since this list dropped, but this is everybody who's been fired or furloughed and not being paid. From WWE thus far.
So let's go with the straight fired first. I'm gonna say, or do they have it broken up, or this is just a list of everybody?
This is just a list of everybody,
Okay.
man.
Okay.
You feel free to stop me when you hear some fire. Drake Maverick.
Okay.
EC3.
Fire. Stop right there. Hold on. Wait a second. Right there. We already look. Okay. So let me just express about EC3. Right. Ethan Carter III back in TNA was not the most technically proficient wrestler out there. I'm not gonna say that.
Right.
But what I will say is the charisma that he was able to exude almost brought me back to TNA, because I left like after the Hogan Bischoff, like right before all that went down, and then Billy Corgan came in, and then Dixie Carter left. Like before all that messiness happened,
It was some Vince Russo shit. Like it was some bullshit going on.
before all that messiness happened, I left TNA. Like I dipped and went back to WWE, which I left to go to TNA because I was like, I don't like what the WWE is doing. TNA brought me in Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Christopher Daniels, Triple X, the Motor City Machine Guns, Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, which, by the way, if you have not seen the TNA Knockouts division from that time period, please go back and watch. You had ODB, you had Gail Kim, you had Roxy Laveau, you had Awesome Kong, you had Raisha Saeed, you had who else was in that mix? You had some names that may not pop out right away, but if you go back and watch the quality of what they was able to do and what was coordinated by Dutch Mantell, trust me, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised on the quality of that women's division back then.
Not to get off topic with EC3, bro, but at that time, what I didn't like about TNA, because we was kind of talking about it offset, man, before we got to rolling again. TNA at that time, you know, around 2006, 2007, was supposed to be what I believe AEW is now, like a real competitor. not an alternative to
but just some
WWE,
legit competition.
Right, legit competition. And bringing in Hogan and shit like that didn't fucking help.
It sounded good.
Yeah, right. That's what it sounded good for WCW bringing Hogan in, but
it's way well with WCW that's different. It started off good. Like when Hogan what Hogan was doing started off good. Again, Eric Bischoff's podcast is not called 83 Weeks for no reason.
But my thing is, bro, Hogan's a terrible wrestler. Hogan's a straight up terrible wrestler.
He is. As far as being a wrestler, like he's horrible.
A performer, he's
horrible.
Terrible.
His charisma exudes off the screen.
Oh yeah.
But as far as like him actually performing moves in the ring,
no sir.
No sir.
I can't. I will not vouch for that.
No sir, not at all. But yeah, with EC3, I just feel like WWE wasted him. They wasted him from the very beginning. Triple H had him in NXT, was slowly but surely building him up. His last great match, which by the way, if you have not seen this, which if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't seen it, don't stop us. Don't stop us. Finish listening to us. Then after we get done, go watch that. But like the North American Championship ladder match from NXT TakeOver, I want to say New Orleans. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. That right there was EC3's best match to me, or one of his best matches in because he was the only sports entertainer, I guess you can say, in the match, and it made all the difference. Like that match in and of itself was so fire.
What you think Dave Meltzer would get that motherfucking match?
Oh, he gave it 5 stars.
Oh, he did?
He gave it 5 stars.
All right. Oh, well.
He gave it 5 stars because like that match was.
Meltzer gave it 5. It's fire.
That whole pay-per-view, NXT New Orleans. If you haven't seen that pay-per-view, go back and watch it from top to bottom. I was thoroughly impressed.
There's one of your favorite pay-per-views?
Especially as being me coming back to the WWE full time. Like that was one of my first pay-per-views I ever saw on the WWE network. That was one of the first pay-per-views I ever saw. My favorite pay-per-view I ever saw though was the WrestleMania where Kofi won the WWE Championship. I was just coming back to back home from Atlanta, and I was like on a Greyhound bus, like with my headphones in, watching it on my phone, and then I saw Kofi like pin Daniel, and I was on the bus like yeah, like it was like what the fuck is he doing? I'm like, oh shit, my fault. Like so that's EC3 was definitely underutilized. I feel like he should have had an NXT championship run. I feel like he should have low-key been the first NXT North American champion. The heel dynamic between him and Ricochet's face would have been excellent.
I feel that.
But even though the matches between Ricochet and Adam Cole were top tier, don't get me wrong. Especially that super kick that Adam Cole did when Ricochet was upside down, top tier. But I just feel like EC3 was wasted.
Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson.
The Good Brothers, I feel like, are going to go to AEW. I believe that tag division.
Yeah,
they're trying to stack it as it is.
Yeah.
You got Private Party, which I feel like is slept on. You got the Lucha Brothers. You have the Inner Circle. Then you have the Sex Gods, which is the tag team of Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. You got some names there. Then also you got the Young Bucks. Can't forget them. You got Kenny Omega and Adam Page. You got that whole elite faction.
They're building some nice stables over there, bro.
The Dark Order is not as bad as everybody says. Yes, what AEW has been doing with them is terrible, but I feel like the Dark Order is not as bad. And now that they got Brody Lee, is going to. I feel like Brody Lee is going to help actually elevate that stable.
That shit just makes me think like how long WWE has neglected the tag division, bro.
And then
to be honest, bro, the last time I personally feel like the division, the whole division, was really good for an extended amount of time was probably around the latter end of, I guess, what y'all call the ruthless aggression era, around 2009 between 2013, maybe.
I would have to debate that a little bit.
Maybe go back a year or two, so maybe 2008 to 2000. I feel like that's when it was really
I feel like
I might even have to go back a little. I might have to go to the beginning when you had guys like Kendrick and London and you know, I might have to go. I'm gonna have to go back a little bit than that. I think the stables they were making, right? The stables they were making around 2009 were good, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the division was getting beefy. It was more so one-sided, rated RKO shit.
Then you had like a lot of mushed together tag teams, like
not like legit stables.
Nah.
You gotta see that they were playing with.
Yeah, they was like, you know what, we ain't got nothing to do with this guy. We ain't got nothing to do with this guy. So fuck it, let's put him in the tag team. Let him win the tag team titles and
some dark match guys type shit, man, going on. Yeah, man.
I feel like the Good Brothers would definitely be a good addition to that tag team, to that tag team division.
Okay. I can't say I necessarily agree because I don't have the proper knowledge on the Good Brothers. But I think a different work environment could make all the difference in whatever industry you're in. So,
from what you've seen of them, would you say that they impress you, or?
Yeah, I think they are talented. I will say that, but I just don't want to go off for rail. I don't want to die on no hill about the Good Brothers.
Well, look, you a podcaster now, so when you get a chance,
it's some stuff on that list that I'm gonna die for. Y'all probably gonna like what I have to say about it.
If you get a chance, go back and watch some of their stuff in New Japan and watch that whole Bullet Club era of those two.
Bro, see, that's why I'm so mad Chris ain't here, because man, that's Mr. Bullet Club. I'm trying to tell you,
watch that Bullet Club era of those two.
I'm trying to tell you, that's his shit, bro. Y'all can go hours for that shit, man. Like, this some shit he done already kind of put me on. Just
New Japan,
you know what I mean? Like,
New Japan.
Oh man, like this is crazy. But what the hell, Leo Rush? Fire.
I'm indifferent about Leo Rush. I feel like he's done some very stupid shit. Some very stupid stuff. I can't particularly get on PG right now. Wife is in the other room working from home. So I can't get particularly on PG. He said some stupid stuff. I feel like he's done some stupid stuff. Like, there's a video of him taking a power bomb through a table off of a ladder and then popping right back up like a complete no-sell. And that's something
like when Steve-O did that to Umaga. He just kept popping up after the Samoa spike, bro.
Like I
just lay down, bro.
I can't forgive that. Like I just, as a wrestling, that wrestling purist side of me, right. I can't forgive that for Leo Rush.
That's not how you perform, bro. Y'all working together, man. They put on some good-ish, man.
And that was like one of your last nights in the company too.
Oh yeah, so you really should have been on.
Yeah, it's all like that's on the same level as what Austin Aries did to Johnny Impact, John Morrison in WWE. If y'all don't know, like,
hey, I love Morrison, man. They underutilized him.
Like a mug, like for
but
real.
Yeah, I think that's why I had to go back a few years because I mean Eminem was a nice stable.
It
was a really nice stable, bro. I'm like, the Melina thing worked, bro.
It did.
It worked. It super worked. He was a nice performer. He's a nice cruiserweight kind of performer.
Mm-hmm.
Almost a high flyer. You know, that Starship Pain is nasty. That is nasty, bro. That's nasty. But I'm not sure if the Jeff Hardy messing up Joey Mercury's face kind of just depleted the stable and kind of just made it bad for Morrison.
No, I don't think it made it bad for Morrison. What I think it did,
he wasn't ready to be a singles competitor.
He wasn't, but those first couple of IC titles that they decided to give him, I feel like it did help him. Like, you know what, cool. And then, which I feel like
they was mistreating the IC at the time.
They were.
It was kind of
the IC's been mistreated for a long time. Yeah, that's a different topic for a different show. That could go a whole hour.
We can go about belts on a different episode. Just belts alone.
Just belts alone to the mistreatment of titles.
Still going on right now.
Yes,
still going on. I like Brock Lesnar. That's a lot still going on.
We have a different topic.
Yeah, man. That makes me hot. That makes me hot, man. But Leo, man, kind of indifferent as well about that.
Who after Leo?
We got Kurt Hawkins, Eric Young, Heath Slater.
Eric Young did good in TNA. They tried to make him the TNA version of Daniel Bryan, is where they fucked him up. I mean, where they messed him up. I got to get this together. That's where they messed him up. After that, then WWE started off well in NXT and brought him up to the main roster and wasted.
That's sad. Lance Storm.
He was like a road agent, which Eric Young, I believe, was also doing a little bit of too. But so Lance Storm, I just count that as like a casualty of the Rona.
Right, that's kind of what I was thinking, man. When I was talking to y'all off camera about that, a lot of production back behind the scene guys. Yeah. We got Finley on the list, man.
Which is another backstage person. Which again, I feel like
trainer.
Yeah, like I think he's
that?
like a road. I think he's also a road agent. Again, don't quote me on this because I'm not.
I know he was training for a minute, but I don't know if he was doing it.
That moment at Wrestle or at the Royal Rumble when he told Becky Lynch to go ahead and go in the match. Cold.
That's some
cold.
Hey, they could have put that together a little better,
bro. Him and Becky Lynch together.
Hey, bro, I would have went all the way Irish with it, man. I wasn't sure what Sheamus was doing.
Y'all was trying to heel Becky Lynch up anyway. A heel Becky Lynch with Finley as her manager. Let me stop.
Hey, that's wild, bro. What was Sheamus on at that time?
He was with Cesaro still. He was either with Cesaro still or he was hurt, but I believe he was still with Cesaro.
Cause that's mean. That's a mean Guinness squad, bro. Even with Finley as valet, bro. Like, y'all know how Finley used to get down, man. Quit playing with him.
He is an Irishman. He loves.
Man, some of his best matches was against like Wade Regal, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like what, bro? Some of like the most technical matches, bro. I remember like,
bro, some of his brawls with William Regal were.
They was straight up like
fire
brawls, bro. Like they was like almost like bar brawls.
Finley was so slept on. And the thing is, WWE revived his career with the United States Championship. Like what?
William Regal, Finley, in their prime, and like backstage bar brawl.
Ooh,
a lot of. You know what I mean? And then you can kind of, if we're gonna storyline it, you can play to the nationalities of the men.
Yeah.
Because neither one of them are, American. So
yeah.
But a lot of they love to fight and they love to drink.
Yeah.
And but that's cool. That was just something I was thinking of off the top of my head, man.
Who next up?
But Shane Helms.
Again, backstage don't really phase me.
Billy Kidman.
Don't really phase me too much.
Sean Duvall, whose career they also.
You had some words on that. You want to?
I did. Because I remember Daivari, man. I think Daivari actually might have just been a casualty of
Osama.
Yes, and the Islamic phobia, the real early onset of it, post 9/11.
They had him with Khali for a little while.
Because they even try to run some crazy storylines with him, bro.
Yep.
They try to get some nuclear heat, bro. But it was already going to be nuclear just
anyway.
Because. And the crazy thing is, that man is not Arabian. He's Italian, if I'm not mistaken. He's from like...
No, Muhammad Hassan
is Italian.
Yeah.
Like, he's not even like... He's not, bro. You know what I mean? Like this.
WWE was on some wild stuff back in the day.
That was just like, I wouldn't did that to him.
They were wild, bro.
You knew it would work. They were super wild. They're trying to take your real life and mess it up with the Matt Hardy.
Oh no,
triangle.
No.
Hey, bro, we really heard you and Shorty woke up. You want to run the storyline,
bro? We can get again. Matter of fact, that's gonna be one of our just topics that we talk about, like with the RVD thing. That's gonna be one of those things that we just talked about. Matt Hardy and Edge and Lita, that triangle. But who's up next?
Real life, bro. Yeah, Scott Armstrong.
Okay.
Sarah Stock.
Okay.
And Mike Rotunda.
Referee code. If I'm not mistaken, Mike Rotunda was the one that sprinted down. No, that was Charles Robinson. Never mind. Wrong people. Continue.
I think that's it, but there might be a few more names since this episode.
I heard Sarah Logan was one of the names.
Okay.
That they got Rusev was one of the names. The Revival got released. Rusev got released. The Revival got released. Eric Rowan got released. It was a couple more on there. Who else? What was his name? Damn it, just lost him on top of my head. He was with Rusev Day. Who was the other guy with Rusev Day? He was in the Vaudevillains. I know who I'm talking about. Adrian. No, his name isn't Adrian. What is his name? I can't think of his name.
If y'all know his name,
please let me know his. Please let me know.
Be like that. He had a brain fart.
Like I said, like I know who I'm trying to say.
And y'all
I just can't recall. But as far as my overall thoughts though on these WWE releases, I believe quite a few are going to go to AEW. Like I want to see Rusev in AEW. I want to see the Good Brothers in AEW. I want to see the Revival in AEW. I believe it's going to help. I believe there's a couple of female wrestlers that would do good over there, get a little seasoning on them. Or hell, even go to the NWA, which is putting out a fantastic product on YouTube. Or at least they were before the Rona hit. But.
So that's what I wanted to get at. Do you believe all of these releases just to be a natural economic issue due to the current state of our country?
I believe
this was like just on the way anyway for a lot of these.
I believe quite a few of these people had asked for their release anyway, and because they had already asked for their release and the economic time and the way that WWE was trying to push their money and the way that they're restructuring right now, they was like, it just 2 and 2 finally added up to 4. Like, y'all don't want to be here. We're wasting money on paying y'all. We're trying to restructure anyway because we starting to lose money. Forget it. Let's cut.
Think about the worst thing, bro, that happened to the WWE. It didn't happen in the WWE. The re-inaugural season of the XFL had to stop due to this, and it was doing so well, bro. Doing so well, bro. Statistically, people were there at these games. These TV contracts were nice. But to nobody's own fault, not Vince's fault this time, like it was in 2001.
This was because of Corona.
No, right. This is nobody's fault, bro. Per se. But
which, by the way, I just actually covered that on Talking Sports with Wei and Crony. If you hear this and you want to hear a sports show, talking about like baseball, basketball, football, stuff like that, definitely go over there and listen. But
check him out.
But yeah, like
the
XFL, like that, it was some good competition.
But you can't neglect that back end had an effect on Vince's other ventures, i.e. the WWE.
The XFL had 3 years. They had enough money for 3 years and then lost all that money quickly.
Right.
Quickly.
Like, my thing is, man, I do believe that there is some talent on that list that was on the way out. But a third of that list, or almost half of it, sounds like backstage production. We at a point where there's no fans at these shows. Like why do we need Rotunda anymore?
We don't.
We it's unfortunate. Like,
but it's just the way it is,
right? So it's messed up, man. But it could be something lovely for another brand like AEW.
As y'all see, coronavirus is affecting literally everything. But one thing it's not affecting is our ability to bring y'all content. We'll be right back here on Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin, when the next thing we talk about is RVD and the Money in the Bank. I got some shit for y'all, so please make sure you stay tuned. Next up on Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin. That just sounds some country shit. I love it.
It's real. It sounds like some real Tennessee shit.
Tennessee.
It's real to me, damn it. Excuse my language.
RVD and Money in the Bank. Let's roll out the story. again, if
Right.
you're listening to if you're listening to this, you should know. But if you don't know, we're gonna roll it out for you. So, RVD had won the Money in the Bank around 2007.
8. The second one.
Because it was Edge, Mr. Kennedy, RVD.
But wasn't that the second Money in the Bank?
It was the third.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So he won it in like 2007, and then after he won the Money in the Bank contract, he went on to cash in that Money in the Bank contract at what was the livest wrestling event of all time. I am talking about ECW One Night Stand
2008.
2000. And as a matter of fact, hold on, if you could look that up for me real quick. Let me. Like, was it? I think it was. I think it had to be
2007 or 2008.
one of those.
It's one of those.
One of those. Look up the money.
Okay.
Yeah, say look it up for me real quick. But when he cashed it in, there were signs in that arena that was saying, "If Cena wins, we riot."
Yeah.
The heat in that room. Did you find it? Like when it was?
I'm confirming now.
Okay.
I'm confirming years.
But the heat in that room was so it was so magnetic because ECW, if you do not know what ECW is, stands for Extreme Championship Wrestling. ECW is or was the hypest wrestling society out there. It was hardcore, it was fast paced, you had technical ability, you just had sex, you had violence, you had it all just wrapped up in this bundle. And Paul Heyman, the genius that he is, was able to pull so much out of so little. Like, Paul Heyman has my utmost respect ever in the business because of that. He's able to talk, he's able to book, he's able to promote. Paul Heyman is definitely a triple
dude.
He's a triple threat. And yeah, it's just like that night was absolutely amazing. 1 second for a sip of water. That night was so amazing. Let me see what else happened that night. So Cena came in, and the thing about Cena that night was Cena was basically a heel. It was 2006, and so RVD won his Money in the Bank in 2005. Then did I jump years ahead? I thought Money in the Bank came out in 05. Again, I may have had those dates mixed up, but it was One Night Stand 06.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so
the one you're referring to for sure.
Yeah, so ECW One Night Stand 06. Do you have the card up? Can you look for the card so we can
Yes. Yep, I got you. Give me a second.
I just want to read it. I just want him to read this card to you. And it may not sound a lot, but the way I'm just going to do a quick breakdown of this. So I'm building up the hype. I'm building this up for a particular reason. So that's the reason why I need this card.
Yeah, I got you, bro. Yeah, it's definitely One Night Stand 2006. Damn, I can't believe we was that far off. Like I felt like Money in the Bank was a little bit. I don't know. I wanted to say like 07 or
That's what I'm saying. Like I thought it was that, but I guess Money in the Bank
older than we think, bro.
Money in the Bank was in 03 then, so that was 03. Kennedy had to win in 04, but that doesn't even make. I'm so confused, bro.
We got the Mandela effect,
bro. I'm having mean Mandela effect right now because I know Edge won it, then Kennedy won it. Then Edge beat Kennedy for it, and then Edge recashed it in, and then after that, RVD won.
Damn, bro.
Now that I know up top of my, now that I know as a certainty, it's just the years of when this took down is escaping me right now.
Yeah, I was trying to use this app. It's sad. I'm usually not this sad.
No, you know
what I'm looking up.
You're fine, bro. But yeah, just like the magnetism of that night is is something that you can only really understand if you, one, watch it.
I got the card.
Two, if you were there, if you were just there, but he's about to read the card.
Okay, so this is One Night Stand 2006 match card in order from dark to main event. Taz versus Jerry Lawler.
Fire.
Taz won by submission. That was 35-second match. What the fuck?
Yes.
Taz misses him like that. Kurt Angle defeats Randy Orton by submission in a 15-minute singles match.
Nope.
The FBI, which was Lil Guido and Tony Maluke.
So that's
Maluke.
yeah. So that's Lil Guido is Nunzio in the WWE,
Okay.
and I think Tony Mamaluke, I believe that's Vito.
Vito? Oh
Yeah.
shit. Oh man, that's crazy. I've heard that name in a minute. He used to be wilding, but they had Vito on some. I don't know. They didn't know what they wanted to do with Vito. They didn't know what they were. They did him dirty. That's all I'm gonna say. But they ended up defeating Super Crazy and Tajiri, which sounds like a mean stable.
A mean upset though.
Yeah. No belts on the line. 12-minute match.
Mm-hmm.
Rey Mysterio champion versus Sabu in a no contest.
Because so this match, Rey Mysterio and Sabu, when I say they were throwing their bodies around, it was tables being broken. You saw Rey Mysterio truly in his old ECW roots. He was out there with I'm telling, keep going. The flames are building. Keep going.
That's crazy. That blows me, bro. Cause man, Sabu's that guy. Rey's that guy. Ray was that guy at that time.
Keep going.
He was legendary.
He was
by
the
that
world
time.
heavyweight champion at the time.
That's what I'm saying. By that time, he was that guy. Then you had up next Edge, Lita, Mick Foley, Beulah McGillicuddy, Terry Funk, and Tommy Dreamer, and intergender Extreme Rules match that went on for 19 minutes, bro.
And it was just basically
it sounds fire.
It was everybody just fighting. It was a whole.
Right, it sounds fire. Then you had Balls Mahoney defeat Tanaka,
which was heavy. If you are not in the heavy chair shots, if you're not into Masato Tanaka, is somebody that will drop you on your neck. He will drop you on your neck. So you better have a strong neck messing with Masato Tanaka.
I bet Sabu know all about it. Then we got our main event. Rob Van Dam cashing in.
So let me set the scene. So look,
John Cena.
In the main event, John Cena walks in with the belt above his head, hat down, walking down the entrance. Just everybody saying F you Cena. Cena, that's where like the F you Cena, the Cena sucks.
That's where Gordon.
No, that was in Philly. This was in Philly. This was in the old ECW arena. This was in Philly, bro.
This was in the Hammerstein Ballroom in Manhattan, in New York.
What? I thought that was in Philly.
Not this 2006 one. That 2006.
That was the Hammerstein.
Yeah.
Okay, so again,
Yeah.
excuse me. That's why I always say don't take me as direct quotes. But it was just F you Cena. Cena sucks penis. It was so much vulgar language thrown. Like there's even a clip show of the stuff that was said to Cena. So Cena was like the heel came in. When RVD came down the ramp, it was one of the biggest pops you will ever hear. The match started, it was table, Cena was at his most hardcore and was basically playing heel to the crowd. It was signs, like I said, in the crowd that says, if Cena wins, we riot. Everybody was just like, if Cena wins this match, none of y'all are gonna make it out of here. That was the atmosphere of that night. If Cena wins this match, y'all better hurry up and run.
Like
y'all better
on some Montreal screw job type.
Y'all better get out of here fast,
Right.
bro.
That's crazy.
So the match went on. A surprise appearance by a guy in a biker helmet who turned out to be Edge. Edge speared Cena. I believe he speared him through a table. Rob Van Dam hit the 5-star frog splash. 1, 2, 3. we have a new WWE champion. And not that same night, but the following night when ECW got revitalized because ECW had gotten canceled way back in like the early 2000s.
Yeah.
On the first night that ECW was revitalized, Paul Heyman awarded Rob Van Dam the newly rechristened ECW World Heavyweight Championship. Now, Rob Van Dam was the only person in history to hold the ECW and WWE Championship at the same time.
He unified the joints.
The only
You're
person
not supposed to do that, bro.
He's the only person in history to hold both of those championships at the same
That's
time.
dope, bro.
Now, you see how I built all that up to this rising peak, right? You're thinking from this point, he got both these titles, he about to take off. He about to lead ECW to a brighter future. He about to lead WWE to a brighter future. They finally gave him the chance. They finally believe in this guy. Not too long after that episode of ECW, Rob Van Dam gets pulled over in the car with Sabu.
Yeah.
And when they get pulled over, they smell marijuana. And when they smell marijuana, they not only get it on tape, he not only says, I'm Rob Van Dam, I'm the WWE champion.
Oh my God.
It got back to Vince. No more than, I would say, a month or two later, if that, Rob Van Dam lost the ECW championship to The Big Show, and then lost the WWE championship to Edge. And was nowhere close to the title picture and close to the potential that he had ever again. He went to TNA, he won the World Heavyweight Championship there, then he won it, got hurt by this stupid, and
this was in 2006 though, so you know.
So much.
I know weed is a little bit different now.
So much wasted potential.
Because I think now, if I wasn't mistaken, on the XFL, man, that they weren't testing for cannabis like that.
I don't think they were.
Yeah, they were. They raised the level like way high.
Yes,
kind of
sir.
like that's what happened in the new CBA, I think, with NFL.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that.
Mhm.
Like, especially with guys like Josh Gordon and like some talent. That's another story.
Mhm.
But it's crazy, man. Like he kind of wrecked his own career, man.
He destroyed his own
Because
career.
Vince is very vindictive. I mean, you go all the way back to the curtain call. Like Stone
Vince is
Cold
petty.
would not have the career that he has if Triple H did not hug them people.
Y'all go,
Like,
you gonna piss some people
Like
off.
he had to. He couldn't do Sean. Like he couldn't punish Sean right now. I can't do that. That's not good for business. But you, I got another plan for you, Hunter. Like, you know what I mean? And yeah, and then you said something about one of the loudest pops in that era, man. When Stone Cold came back from that injury from who was that? Owen Hart, I think, broke his neck. And that glass just shattered. Oh
Like,
my God, man! Yeah,
man.
like it was like when The Rock would come back at random times.
No, the
But,
loudest
that
pop.
one was nasty.
The
man.
loudest pop I ever heard and the most chilling pop I ever heard was when Eddie Guerrero won the WWE Championship. When I say the chills that went down my body from the sound that
Was
came.
that JBL match?
No, that was it against JBL? No,
Oh,
he
he jumped
no,
off the steel cage?
no, it was against Brock Lesnar.
Okay, yeah.
When Goldberg speared Lesnar.
Yeah, he rolled him up.
Huh?
Did he roll him up?
No, like, because first what happened, Eddie Guerrero hit him with the WWE Championship. Tried to pin him. Wasn't enough. Goldberg came in because him and Lesnar had already had beef.
Right.
Speared him. Then, after he speared him, went to the top rope, 5-star frog splash, boom, 1, 2, 3. Again, and if I have the order that I know, those are the elements. Like it was a title shot. to the face. I remember Goldberg speared him. It was a frog splash. He pinned him fair and square. He pinned his ass though. But Eddie Guerrero would like hug his mama, like hug his dad, like had the Mexican flag in one hand, had the WWE Championship in one hand, Viva La Raza. My nigga, like.
That's how I feel about Benoit at WrestleMania 20, man. Like,
bro, like
that's probably my favorite match, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I'm still a Benoit fan, man. It's probably one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. One of the greatest technicians of all time, bro.
Bro, favorite match, CM Punk Cena in Chicago. I wish I was there. I was 30 minutes away. I was 45 minutes away from the fucking United Center. I was 45 minutes away from the United Center.
It's so crazy, bro.
I was 45 minutes away from where that went down. I watched that as that went down.
Man.
Like,
that's still my favorite match, man. The triple threat match between Triple H, Benoit, HBK for the title. That Benoit ends up reversing Triple H's pedigree because Shawn exits the ring with a missed kick. You know how that sets up to leave them both in the ring, him and H. And H was getting the better of him. A few spine busters. Looked like he was going for that pedigree. Mean reversal. H got close to the ropes. He still had the crippler crossface locked in and rolled, like 360 rolled towards the middle. Like, it was a crazy, like, he didn't let up, like, he never let go, and they both rolled together. It was like some of the craziest
like, tap out.
Right, like, he was really close to the rope, but he didn't, like, you know how most people will let their holds go to drag you back, and then I'll put you in a sharpshooter instead of moving you. No, Benoit took the step over toe hold crossface and rolled with it, and it was over, bro. And it was his first one, bro. And then that's when Eddie came out and
they just both,
bro. I cried, bro.
Bro.
That was like a moment, bro. It was like, that's crazy, man. Because that's
Triple
something
H
we might get into later.
Triple H made a horrible outfit change tonight, though. The all white Triple H. I'm glad you never did it again, bro. You and the all white Triple H, it did not work, sir. The all white wasn't for you.
Crazy, bro.
The all white wasn't for you, bro.
Love, bro. You look crazy,
the
bro.
all white wasn't for you. But something that is for you is Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin. And the reason why we're able to produce this content for you all is because of our sponsor, the Anchor app. So what we're going to go ahead and do is hear a word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back with you on Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin.
Talmbout Wrasslin.
How's everybody doing? It's your boy Wei, host of the Wei's World podcast.
And your girl Shani the Shooter, co-host of the Wei's World podcast.
You can catch the Wei's World podcast every Monday through Wednesday by at least 3 p.m. on one of those days on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere that you get your local podcasts, and now
YouTube. Yeah.
We want to say thank you all for listening to the Wei's World podcast, and stay tuned for much more, because officially every episode from season 2 of the Wei's World podcast and every episode of season 2 of the Wei's World Drunkcast will now be on YouTube. So once again, thank you all so much for listening, and stay tuned. All right, so we are back on Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin. Again, we have 3 other co-hosts that could not be here today. Even though we're able to do a podcast, again, even though it's Corona going on right now, we're all essential workers. So we all have, times and places that we have to be there. Again, there'll be some episodes that are uploaded that I might not even be on. I'll just, get the footage and be the one editing it. That's really it. But the next thing that we're going to talk about, after coming off of RVD and his wasted potential, especially around that Money in the Bank time, is Money in the Bank. If you could, sir, pull up the card for the current Money in the Bank. We'll talk about it a little bit and just kind of give our thoughts. We don't know if this is I don't believe this is the final card yet, because it's still, I believe, a couple of days before WrestleMania. I said before WrestleMania. It's still a couple of days before Money in the Bank.
May 10th.
Yeah, Money in the Bank's in May. So yeah, we still got a minute. So this is not the final card, but this is just our thoughts on what the state of the card is, and just some thoughts on Money in the Bank, because they're talking about doing the Money in the Bank ladder match to the point where you like fight up to the roof, and then it's some shit. So
it's only five matches. Like I said, May 10th.
So we'll go one by one. So let's talk about the first one.
Okay. We got Shayna Baszler and Asaka.
Oh, Asuka. Yeah.
Versus Nia Jax versus Dana Brooke versus Lacey Evans or Sasha Banks. I don't know what the or is about.
Is this the women's Money in the Bank ladder match?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. So they still gotta have that match to see who
versus one more contender.
Okay.
Who has not been determined yet.
So the people that we have confirmed are Shayna Baszler, Asuka, Nia Jax,
Dana Brooke,
and
Lacey Evans or Sasha Banks.
I think Sasha gonna get that nod.
Think so?
Yeah, and then one more person after that's TBA.
Yep.
Okay. So out of the people that we have, so as a matter of fact, so out of Shayna, Nia, Sasha, Dana, and I feel like I'm still missing one. Asuka. Yeah. So out of Asuka, Shayna, Nia, Dana. Huh?
Asuka deserves that.
You think Asuka deserves that one? I think they should give it to Shayna. Like, I feel like Shayna Baszler should have won at WrestleMania. The fact that they let Becky Lynch win at WrestleMania was stupid. They should have let Shayna Baszler win. Fight me. Fight me.
Because that's a hot take.
Like,
that's a bad
fight
hot
me.
take.
Shayna Baszler should have won. The WWE is stupid for not allowing for that booking decision was just dumb.
I just say that because I think Asuka's career or time with the WWE is already looking really short.
I heard Kyrie saying on
how they've been moving her around, bro. It's been, and she gets a lot of pop, bro. Like, I'm not understanding why you wouldn't. What trust do you not have in this talent?
She's literally one championship away from completing the WWE Women's Grand Slam.
Yeah, the Grand Slam.
Yeah, right. She's won the tag title. She's won the SmackDown Championship. She's won the NXT Women's Championship. Give her that Raw boy.
With the Diva joint?
No, the Diva joint is out of there. the Diva joint is out of there.
That belt was like that, They did the belt.
The criteria to win the Women's Grand Slam. If y'all don't know, there's a Women's Grand Slam, and then there's a tag team Triple Crown. The Women's Grand Slam is the Raw Women's Championship, the SmackDown Women's Championship, the Women's Tag Team Championships, and the NXT Women's Championship. You have to win all four of those to be the Grand Slam champion, to be a Women's Grand Slam champion in WWE. So far, the only person to do it, I believe, was Bayley. I believe Bayley was the only one. Sasha Banks could be doing it very soon if they let the Bayley-Sasha Banks storyline actually kick off. And then as far as the tag team Triple Crown, the only people to do it has been the Revival. They've been the only tag team to win the NXT Tag Team Championships, the Raw, and the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
Wow.
Just some knowledge. So it's, yeah, I think
personally, man, I would like to see Asuka get that contract, man.
I'm going to shame on that one.
Or I'm gonna, this is a hot take. Nia Jax walking around with that fucking briefcase. Man, excuse my language. That briefcase, man, it'll be very intimidating for a while. It'll be there's some good story potential in that.
It could be like a female.
Trying to put that back on Sasha, that's over with. I'm not even.
You're not doing it anymore.
And we're not playing with you no more because you be wildin'. You be big wildin'.
Yeah.
You on Twitter talking crazy. Like I cannot trust you with this paper before I trust you with this belt. I'm not sure. Nia Jax has been consistent, but she's been low key on some Lesnar-ish, bro. Like hurting people Not sure if it's intentional, but too stiff. So I don't know if that's the champion you want. But it seems like I've seen how y'all move with Lesnar, bro. I've seen y'all do it. I've seen y'all, so y'all might do it the same way.
I see you.
I've seen y'all do it before. I've seen y'all have a champion who has squash matches, who wrestles with a belt that he'll hold for nearly 440 days and only wrestle 3 times a year. Like that's insane to me, bro.
And y'all keep dropping world championships on Goldberg. Y'all keep dropping championships on Goldberg. Think about this.
Nobody's getting over, man.
Goldberg is a 4-time world champion. He won the WCW championship once. He won the World Heavyweight Championship once, and he
was just jugging cars on TV.
He won the Universal Championship twice, and he held the Universal Championship for about a month apiece, long enough to pass it on to whoever they think Goldberg can give the rub to. Goldberg is still Goldberg, but enough, man. Build some new goddamn stars. Fuck.
I'm
sorry. I keep.
My thing is, man, they use the nostalgic talent. They always use wrong, bro. They use it so wrong,
horribly.
And I hate that. I love seeing them, but I hate how they're utilized. It's like that what they call that old man match. And the Crown Royal match, the old man match. Like, come on, bro. That's like some stuff on our deathbed, man. We got Daniel Bryan versus Rey Mysterio versus Aleister Black versus Apollo Crews versus Drew Gulak or King Corbin versus AJ Styles in the male Money in the Bank.
So, I think that out of this list, I would be going with the person I actually want to win this. I want Aleister Black to win it. If not,
I like that. I'm so glad you didn't say AJ Styles.
I'm gonna say I want Aleister Black to win this.
Because how many times we gonna go that route? Like,
you just give it.
Hasn't he won one already? No Money in the Bank?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm
AJ Styles?
Oh, you said AJ Styles?
Yeah, AJ Styles. He's won one.
Say, click on him. Click on his name.
I had to find that out. But I think he's been there before, man. Like, so that's what I'm getting at. That's my whole point. Whether he's won it or not, I believe he's been there before. He's great talent.
Yeah,
he don't need to be put over like that, right?
He don't.
He gets it right now. He don't need that.
And everybody says you can have
a good idea.
Everybody says with AJ Styles, he can have a 4-star match. He with Daniel Bryan, they don't need it. They don't need it.
I don't believe you need to do that, bro.
Give it to like Apollo. Give it to Drew Gulak. Give it back to him.
He might not even be the next.
I'm gonna say, or give it back to Baron Corbin because y'all messed it up with him. So, well, matter of fact, no, y'all didn't mess it up. No. He was talking too much. He did that to himself, but still,
let's go Aleister Black or
Aleister Black. I'm going Aleister Black.
Like, I think that's a strong move, and I'm trying to think business wise, and I'm trying to think with the fans. Like, Ray and Daniel Bryan don't need that.
They don't.
I think Black and Cruz are good candidates. Drew Gulak might not even be in the match. Nope. Giving it back to Baron Corbin might be an okay idea. We're not necessarily sure. But AJ Styles super don't need it.
He don't.
I don't need it. I'm just a good performer. I think I'll bling well with a few of these technicians, bro, in here. So I love that damn forearm. It's not all that to me. I'm sleep. Whatever. Then we got Braun Strowman, currently holding the belt versus Bray Wyatt. And I noticed I said Bray Wyatt.
There's no fiend behind it.
There's nope. So that could be on some Finn Balor demon type stuff. Like,
it definitely is.
When they don't say it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like it definitely is.
Single match for the Universal.
So look, I the storyline here, I get Braun Strowman used to be in the Wyatt family. The storyline pretty much writes itself. You just have to be able to coordinate it correctly. So in this particular match, I would like to see Braun Strowman continue to go. I feel like at this point, he's a Triple Crown champion now. Shout out to Braun Strowman, 2-time Raw Tag Team champion, former Intercontinental champion, and now Universal champion.
he held that tag belt too. With that
Twice,
kid.
yeah.
With that
Yes,
kid.
yes. One time with Seth Rollins.
In the history, and my man Nicholas.
Yes, Nicholas and Seth Rollins. And so, but yeah, man, let Strowman, because y'all about to give it to Reigns. When the coronavirus pop again, or like when it don't pop again, when it dies down officially, or like for good, y'all gonna give it to Reigns. So just let Strowman hold it up until that point.
So I have a question, but I also something that we kind of both were talking about was there was no Fiend tag on this. Now I'm thinking they don't want to oversaturate it. I'm thinking that's not the way that they're moving with that persona is almost like a TI versus TIP kind of thing. Like a different set of matches,
like
different storyline, like
my
versus
my
psychotic self can take it. Like I got this going on with this over here, and I got me, Fun Guy Bray, and Funhouse going on with this over here, and it's kind of working, man. It's kind of working.
That Firefly Funhouse match, I have mixed feelings about it. Not that I think it was bad at all.
That's another episode.
Yeah,
we can talk about some really good matches, some mediocre but memorable matches, and just some.
What the fuck? I mean, some
right. I ain't want to say it.
Some WTFs.
Right. Like, come on, man.
Matter of fact, we might turn that into a segment down the line.
You think Strowman should just keep that? So what's Bray got right now? Fill me in. I mean, like, is he holding anything?
No.
When was his last hold?
The Universal Championship was his last championship.
Who did he lose it to?
Goldberg, and then Strowman beat Goldberg at
Last
WrestleMania. Yep.
That's what I thought. A month ago. Okay.
Like
you know how they work, man.
He just dropped it. Just let.
But they are some bro.
Just let Strowman get some time. That's all I'm asking.
These dudes like. I feel like WWE got this like 5-second rule with these belts, man. They just be like, whoops.
All right, who you got?
Whoop. On that match?
Yeah.
Who do I have? Who do I want?
Yeah.
I look-key want I want Bray to have that.
Okay.
I think that because kind of what I was saying, if we go take the storyline and diverge it all the way around,
might as well go ahead and just.
And then, man, when the Fiend gets a belt, he can unify with the Universal title as my crazy split type self. You know what I mean? That's mean to me. That'd be a little.
I got you.
That'd be a little mean. Now you can drop it, Monday night or whatever, but it's a little. That's a storyline, man. And then maybe they're not focusing on the Fiend right now because this is going to be one of their first events that's going to be at the headquarters, because
I think the first event,
right?
They can't work. Like they've had matches. I mean, not matches. They've had segments there, like when Brock Lesnar broke into Triple H's office and.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be the first time that they can't get a venue. But there's really no need to get a venue because we're not having 1,000 people here.
Exactly.
Next matchup, I want to see Bray win that though, man. So we'll see how it goes.
Dang, quick switch like that fast. Like here's Strowman, you got this taste real quick.
Yeah, but they've been doing him like that for a while, so I wouldn't be
upset.
No, because it could. What are they doing right now?
What do you mean?
They facing him?
Who?
Braun Strowman.
The Fiend or Bray Wyatt?
No, Braun Strowman.
What are you talking about with Braun Strowman? Like
is he
yeah. Right now he's a face.
Because I know he's done both several times.
Yeah, like right now he's a face. He's out here giving like promos, and I'm happy that I won this, and this is my dream.
Well, yeah, I think an immediate drop is going to cause a piss off, which could reignite some old flames for heel Strowman, squash Strowman, which could be nice.
Okay.
So. I don't know, man. I think it'll be a good match. I expect that match to probably go. That's the third match of 5. That probably will go 15 minutes.
All right.
Bayley currently holding the belt against Tamina for the belt. SmackDown Women's Championship.
All right, look, this is gonna be a hot take. Don't make me feel crazy, right? I believe that I low-key want to see Tamina winning. I know that may sound crazy. Tamina low-key is vanilla ice cream. But she's been in the company for a while. Y'all wouldn't give her and Nia Jax the women's tag team championships. I feel like y'all low-key should have.
You're not even telling these people who she is, bro.
Tamina is the daughter of Jimmy Snuka. So Tamina has a family pedigree, but like as far as her working style, Tamina is very vanilla in a sense. Like she's not. Well, they don't give her that much opportunity to talk, and when she does, she doesn't use it wisely. Like she's not good off the script. But in her matches aren't particularly the most exciting matches in the world either. But again, if she's in there,
all of that same stuff about Bayley too, bro.
Yeah,
and
like, but the thing is, Bayley can work, and I feel like I enjoy Bayley's work. But yeah, like especially I enjoy heel Bayley more than face Bayley.
I agree.
Heel Bayley, I feel like has a little bit of like a whiny edge, like you should be loving me, but you hate me. I'm better than you. Like okay, Bayley, you low key are, but you know. Take that.
I feel
but yeah, I feel like Tamina should win this.
I would like to see Tamina hold the belt, but
It's gonna be Bayley.
Realistically, I don't expect a title change.
It's gonna be Bayley.
I just don't expect a title change. It looks like you said when you put a strap on somebody who is as bland as paper. It might be the perfect time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
No fans and all that. It might be the perfect time to shut you up. You know what I mean? Like, to be honest with you. Hey, don't say we ain't give you one.
Hey, look, here, take this opportunity.
Yeah, hold it up to the nobody's out there.
I'm gonna say Bayley gonna win it back in a couple of days anyway. You're fine.
You know how that goes. Like the post pay-per-view hangover. They just let me get that belt back.
Who's gonna get that belt?
Right, let me get that back. I just had the contract. I said I'd give it to you. I'm gonna need it back. Then we got the last match on the card, singles match for the WWE Championship between Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins.
Drew, they just gave it to Drew. Drew deserves it.
I agree.
So yeah, I'm definitely on the Drew train with that one. No doubt about that
I'm
one.
biased. I don't like Seth Rollins. He's a tool, bro. He acts like a tool. He acts like Triple H on Twitter, like Blue Blood Triple H, like Hunter Hearst Hemsley, like talks down about AEW, like stuff you don't really have to do off the clock, and it makes me it's like
It irritates you.
It does irritate me because I wonder if you're doing it like to be like, hey, look at me, boss, like. Yeah, I'm hating on them too, or oh yeah, we're all super duper WWE to the death of me kind of vibe, and it's I don't know, bro. He's like a sucker, bro. I don't know. He give me like this aura is just so weird about him. As a performer, I can't take nothing away from him, like, but it's just a vibe I get from Seth Rollins, bro. Even just since this year alone, just. Look at like how he tweets about other stuff and the stuff he decides to react to instead of his actual fans who like him. Because I'm not one of them.
Right.
But if I say something to him and I say, hey, AEW is better, he's going to spend 20 minutes telling my random self why it's not. Like, why are you doing that? Like, I don't know. It kind of says a lot to me about a person, when you act like that.
I got you.
So, but outside of that, great performer. McIntyre needs to keep that. Need to keep that, and that's your final match, bro. It needs not to be a changeover.
I see.
Personally.
So coming off of Money in the Bank, the next thing that we're going to get to on Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin, our final topic, is going to be the Dark Side of the Ring specials. We're going to give our thoughts on the ones that we've seen. He said that he's seen them all. I've only seen a select few. So we're going to give our thoughts on that, and we'll be right back here with you on Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin. God dang wrestling.
I don't know anything about.
All right, so we're back here with our finale, in a sense, for the first episode of Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin. The Dark Side of the Ring specials. I've seen the Eddie Guerrero special. I've seen the Chris Benoit special. I've also seen parts of the Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth special, but I kind of really know that story somewhat in a nutshell. The Von Erichs, I know that one. I watched the Behind the Titantron on that one. So
those are better. Personally, that's something we can talk about. Because Vice is doing a really good job of this, but if you're not familiar with like WrestleMania's Behind the Titantron series, they take a lot of the controversial moments in wrestling history, not just WWE history, and talk about them from the steroid scandal, Brody's death in that bathroom or locker room, you name it, man.
Which was another Dark Side of the Ring segment.
Right, I haven't even seen that one. So it seems like they're just taking from that YouTube from other creators, but they're paying guys like Jimmy Hart, the last Von Erich, or Bambi, who was one of Fabulous Moolah's compound trainers on that compound, and whatever. But she didn't do that. She didn't do none of that. She didn't do any of that stuff.
He gave you religion. You think he touched them kids?
I don't think Fabulous Moolah did any of that stuff, bro. She deserved that, and they took her name off of that, and that's bogus.
You think Moolah really did it?
I don't think she did any of that.
What?
I don't think she did any of that, bro. Especially after watching the Dark. Have you seen that episode of Dark Side of the Ring?
No.
The women were. They talked to at least 4 women. They said, no, that didn't happen. None of them admitted to being pimped out or feeling pimped out in any way. So the ones that you found or grabbed, it was 100%. She didn't do that.
There was a black woman named Sweet Georgia Brown.
Right, but she's. I think she passed. She wasn't on that.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't.
So now, that's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
That's very unfortunate.
That's crossing a couple of lines.
That's I agree. That's very different. But I don't believe that it was the way that it circulated. Because they put the Sweet Georgia Brown shit on there too, on that Dark Side of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm familiar with that. But segregation. But in the time she would stand up for her in the bar.
Right.
I mean, she seemed to have her back, but then that other chick, Queen Victoria, broke her neck and she kicked her out. She kicked her out, bro. She was useless. She was useless, so that's kind of messed up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Moolah, I ain't gonna say everything that Moolah did was all the way square with square.
I didn't say that, but y'all act like she just pimping everybody out. Nah, she was about her bread, bro. Like, now she was like Hogan. Too. She was like Hogan, bro, and she ain't put nobody over because she was scared, bro. She was too scared for what's next for me. That personal. She had an existential crisis, bro. And she held that women's belt. Women's wrestling could be so much further from where it's in a great space right now.
Yeah.
But it could have been 39 years further if Fabulous Moolah would have not been hogging all the belt. Bro, just hogging.
She was like, I'll take this quick 10-year reign and then retire and then come back and still be the champion.
What the hell is that?
It happens like that.
What the hell is that, bro? That's some bullshit, bro. And I mean, and we're talking about, and on that episode of Dark Side of the Ring, there were women discussing how they just were looking up to her, man. Like, because she was the one to look up to. What other woman were you looking at? Mildred Burke in the 20s? She was cold. She had the physique that Vince would have loved. You know what I mean? Like an Olympian, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like strapped, bro, and could wrestle. There's footage. There's plenty of footage out there. Moolah, not quite the looker. One of the best female talkers, but not quite the looker.
I don't know. I would say it was a couple of pictures of Moolah though.
But she wasn't wrestling. She wasn't wrestling.
She was a valet. She was
right.
Okay.
Right. That's more so what I mean. And I think, I hate to say it, it plays into it. How you look plays into it. It does. We're not at a stage. We're getting there where talent and pop or whatever should really define your champion, not the physique, not the Kurt Angles, not the Triple H's, not the,
so speaking of as far as physiques with Dark Side of the Ring, one of the more I wouldn't say controversial, but one of the more harder to watch Dark Side of the Rings that came out recently was the Chris Benoit. The Chris Benoit Dark Side of the Ring. And,
yeah, it was hard for me too, bro.
Like
that's still my favorite wrestler.
Like the one that was extremely hard for me to watch was the Eddie Guerrero one. Like I literally started watching it, and then like 15 minutes in, I had to pause it. It was like, yeah, I'll come back to that a different day. I'm cool.
Yeah,
I'll come back in. Like, and I eventually finished it, and then I watched the Chris Benoit one, and I'm just
you finished that one, Chris Benoit. How'd you feel about it? Let me before you answer that, bro. I just want to say that, like I said, Chris Benoit is still my favorite. He's good. It's still my favorite wrestler, man. The stuff he did, I think, really, for one, it's a really good episode because they went to the medical perspective of it, man. And I don't think that stuff was as intentional as
he was messed up. He was messed up.
Literally messed up, bro.
And then after Eddie passed, it messed him up even more.
Who was it? Harley Race and all the people telling him like,
don't do that head move,
man. You can't pull it the way that you can pull other moves.
Like that move actually
that mat is a. I don't want to slam the table, but you know it's a mat. It's not no pillow top
like that
mattress. It's not no kid shit.
That move actually takes a toll on your body doing it. Like not like other moves don't, because Hulk Hogan's leg drop
cannot sit straight. If you see an X-ray of Hulk Hogan's like tailbone, you can tell that he's been doing something with one leg. And you don't know if you've never met the man in your life and you're his doctor and you look at it, it's like a mad shift.
And that's him slamming his damn legs into the mat for those.
Which is also a stupid ass finisher. It's mad stupid.
But it was the 70s and 80s.
But it was stupid. That means you can't wrestle.
His charisma got him over. I keep saying his charisma got
that proud to be American shit, like all that bullshit, that MAGA shit he was doing.
Bro,
that's what sold.
Coming out to Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix.
Right, that's what sold with Lex. That's how it was a lot of this Americanized Hacksaw Jim Duggan ass guys. You know what I mean? But that episode of Dark Side of the Ring, bro. I also got the chance to meet Chris Benoit in Orlando while I was a little younger. This might have been 05, 06. So probably before he died. I don't want to say I got an autograph from nothing, but it was definitely him. He spoke to me. I spoke to him. I left it alone. I wasn't right. We were at this condo my brother was renting out. We were in Orlando for like a few weeks, and we were at this like big ass pool, and everybody was there. Probably other people I didn't recognize. Who knows? I don't know. I knew this guy for sure. This little short, stout, stiff-looking guy with the neck thing. I know this one. Who's this guy? And then I placed it. Then I asked him. He said, yeah. I spoke to him, and I left him. And, favorite wrestler, man. Like, great technician. Sad story. Very sad, bro. And I'm really disappointed. Really disappointed in the corporate move, how they move with it. It breaks my heart, bro. That y'all, it's just like with the NFL, y'all want to acknowledge it, bro. Like that man, that player who took his life in the parking lot, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all just acting like, well, he had something else going on. No, bro. He's been concussed. They said that Chris Benoit had the brain like similar to a 90-year-old Alzheimer's patient. Chris Benoit died in his like 40s, but with an 90-year-old brain? That make you do some crazy shit, man. Like, I don't know, man. I can't. Only people who know what happened is Chris Benoit, woman, and Daniel.
Exactly.
That's it, bro. There's a few conspiracies out there I don't like to touch on, but it's sad, bro. That was one of that really hit me. Like, they got talking about how they just.
Yeah.
Bro, he's Noob Saibot now, bro, and all the footage. If you got WWE Network, go pull up any match with Chris Benoit. He's going to be in it, but he's not going to be in it. You know what I mean? He's going to be blacked out.
It's going to be like a little...
It's a silhouette, bro. Like, and if they say his name, it's Cole or Lawler,
It's
like a, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy to me, man. Like,
it's absolutely, it's wild.
y'all not telling the truth, man. People are hurting themselves, and y'all are not looking out for them, and it's fucked up, bro.
It is.
It's fucked up. Like,
it's extremely fucked up. But like, again, just this is what I'll say to close out the segment. This is what I'll say, right? As if you want to get in the professional wrestling business, I urge you to be safe. I also do urge you, though, to watch the Dark Side of the Ring or WrestleMania or watch some of these channels. That way you can, because the reporters, what they're reporting, some of it's opinion, but a lot of it's true. Like something I try to explain to people all the time when it comes to professional wrestling. Yes, some of the things they do may not be all the way 100, but a lot of the impact is. Like a lot of the impact that they suffer from this stuff is they're just able to or learn to spread the pain throughout their body to the point where it don't hurt specific areas too hard. Right. Like if they didn't have that technical skill to be able to do that, a lot of times they would be getting hurt. Right. Like hurt. Like I can't come back.
And that's the thing too, because I want to hurt. That's the main word on another dark side of the ring we're gonna talk about. When you say hurt, ain't nobody ever try to hurt nobody for real, except one person, bro. Like really go out there who will straight up tell you like I'm trying to kill you, and that's New Jack. That's fucking New Jack, bro. He is a psychopath. But hold on, we're gonna come back to that one.
I'm gonna say that one deserves a whole topic by itself. Right, that one deserves a whole segment.
Right, because that's a little extensive, man. That's probably on another episode, man, or something, or something. But with the Benoit thing, the timeline is, I believe it was June 24th, 2007, something to that degree. Benoit was supposed to be at a pay-per-view.
He's supposed to win. No, not one. I said he was supposed to be a Night of Champions. So he was supposed to face. Win. Yeah, I think it was supposed to be him versus CM Punk. Yep. And Chris Benoit was going to win the ECW championship that night.
And nobody heard from him, and Chris had never missed a show in his life. As Pegasus Kid, all that goofy shit, he had never, ever missed a show in his life.
And they found out prior to the show what went down. That's what kind of fucks me up there.
Yeah, it kind of set the tone for the rest of the show, which was mad unfortunate. Your main event's already messed up. But to go into a performance of any kind, if you put on a play, a ballet, an opera, with some terrible news about one of your stars, when the feeling was there. It was some of those promoters were talking about it like, he was nowhere to be found, and we're talking about 15 minutes before. Yeah. Bro, this ain't him at all. He's usually here training, doing squats in his back, lifting real quick. He's usually on good BS back here.
He's normally on point.
Right, he's usually ready to go, and this is so unlike him. I'm calling phone, I'm calling family members. I call Chavo, who happened to be here, because Chavo's already calling. They best friends. Chavo gets a weirdo text message at like 3 a.m. after nobody could find him. Right. Talking about the dogs are in the back. Something just random. It was like so random.
It was a completely messed up scenario. Like just everything around the death of Chris Benoit, even the Wikipedia article being updated like before anybody else knew. Just it's a lot of mystery around that. But if you have not seen the Dark Side of the Ring, or you have not heard these stories, we definitely urge you to watch the Dark Side of the Ring in the description, as well as the other information we told you.
Good documentaries,
will be down there. Go and check them out, like the ones that's available on YouTube, and if not available on YouTube, get the Vice channel and watch them on Vice directly. But yeah, this was absolute fire. We'll be right back with this outro on Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin.
Talk about some goddamn wrestling.
we're here with this young outro. If I can say anything, I enjoyed the fuck out of this. I can finally curse because Shanice is not on the phone right now. I enjoyed the fuck out of this. I enjoyed this shit. This shit was absolutely. I never, ever, ever get an opportunity to truly go in depth and talk about wrestling the way I love to talk about wrestling. I'm in the Wrestling with Regret fan group and like the AEW group, and you know I drop my little knowledge in there here and there, but for the most part, I don't get a chance to truly express my love of wrestling. And now that I've joined this collective of minds, and we all got a driven focus about our love of the sport and the art of wrestling. This shit about to be heat,
man. It's about to be heat. Like I said, I'm a little sad, man. Other guys couldn't make it because we've been trying to plan this for a little while now. But Wayman was like, "Fuck it, we gotta run it." So I was like, "I'm gonna pull up with you. We're gonna get it started."
And I think we did a damn good job of that.
I agree, bro. I agree. I enjoyed it. I had a good time, man.
We held it down for the squad
as we supposed to, man. Because the whole premise, man, is Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin. Like, it ain't really a lot of us. You know what I mean? Like, it is, but we very spaced out.
Yep.
So for us to come together, you know what I mean?
Talk about some wrestling.
And just talk about wrestling, man. Just another sport that we enjoy, man. And you know what I mean? That we can bond over and fellowship over. From nostalgia all the way back, like I said, some of y'all cats know shit before I was born and can fill me in, like just, you know what I mean, just how we chop it up, man. It's always a good time, man. That's what I think is really important, man. That fellowship and that bonding over something, especially in these times like this, man. These crazy ass times right now, man. A lot of people, man. I hope y'all being safe. I hope y'all being careful. I hope y'all being smart. It's a shame that y'all just now mopping your house. I know some of y'all out there just now mopping your house because y'all scared now. Like, y'all should have been dead. Y'all should have been washing your hands. So don't be scared now. Just be safe. As Pathfinder on Apex Legends say, man, good luck, have fun, don't die. Because that's all you can really do, man. Be careful out there. But yeah, man, it was a good time, man. It was a good show, man.
Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin.
That's all it is, man.
So on today's episode, on the first episode, on the pilot, we talked about WWE releases, RVD's wasted potential during his time in WWE, as well as his time with the Money in the Bank briefcase. We talked about Money in the Bank, the pay-per-view as a whole coming up.
May 10th.
May 10th. And then we also talked about Dark Side of the Ring. One thing I do want to say, so with the Ways World podcast, I used to do AEW versus NXT, and I will cover that on a weekly basis. I'm gonna talk about it with the group, and you know, if we all agree that that's something we can do, we're gonna bring that back too. It's just so many ideas that's about to be flowing through our five minds at one time to make this the quintessential, most fire wrestling podcast out there. Like we not playing.
Man, shout out Booker T. Man.
Shout out Booker T.
Shout out Booker T. Man. it ain't even a lot of that, man. I think Mark Henry got a podcast, or was he just featured on some stuff?
I think he may have been featured. Don't quote
right.
me.
Don't quote. But if he got his own, that's what's up too, man. Shout out a lot of POC former wrestlers, Hall of Famers, man. We talking about five time.
Spinner Rooney.
Yeah, you know I mean, Mr. Spinner Rooney himself, man. And I love his podcast, man, with that other guy. I'm sorry I don't know your name, bro. I apologize, man, but he be holding down on there, man, just giving his opinion. And that's what we want to do for y'all, man. Just somebody who look like y'all talking about some shit that we know y'all like. You know what I mean? Some shit we all love, man. That's it, man. Like, I think it's what's up, man. Like, I think it'll be consistent. It'll be cohesive. It'll be fluid. It'll be very nice for the listeners, the watchers, the viewers. And y'all definitely just gotta stay tuned, man. Like, we ain't going nowhere, man. We're gonna keep it rolling, man. As long as something happening in the industry, we're gonna talk about it. Shit, there's some old shit we want to talk about.
Man, trust me, we got so much shit that we gonna talk about. But by the way, something else I want to throw in there: the logo for Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin is courtesy of.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna do it. The one I got now, I told the group, man, I made it. I had just pumped out like 20 pieces of copy, and bro hit me like, hey, we need a logo, bro. Just have something. And I was like, all right. And I don't really like it. It's kind of mediocre. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna touch it up. I got another thing I want to do. Just give me some time. We'll use it as a placeholder. Mm-hmm. But I got some fire coming, man. I promise y'all.
Hey, I like it. Again, I like it because it shows the beginning stages. Like, look, this is something that we all came together on, and we putting out there. I always tell people the first step to doing anything is getting that shit out there. Right. And you fix it and you go. It's like kind of how Kanye West did Life of Pablo. I feel like you podcast the way he did Life of Pablo. You put it out there, right? If people say what they gonna say. From there, you tweak and you fine tune it, right? And to the point where you got you a fully formed project, and I feel like we got that. But I have been your boy Wei. You can find me on IG at how_Wei_how. You can find me at Ways_World93. You can find me on Facebook at Ways World. If you want to know anything I do outside of Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin, you can search Ways World, where you can also find this podcast too, and listen to some other podcasts out there that we got going on right now. You can find me on Twitter at WaysWorld93. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's all. That's all.
And it's been me, man, Maverick Savage, CG Savage, man. A lot of different names, a lot of different stuff, man. Really, only thing I want y'all to check out right now is one of my newest ventures, GassedOutGaming.com, www.GassedOutGaming.com. A lot of weed video game related content. Doing really nice right now. You can find me on Facebook, Maverick Savage, Maverick Creative Solutions. Pretty much the Maverick with 2 Ks on everything. It's probably me, since like 2002. Like it's probably mine. I ain't gonna bullshit you. The Maverick with 2 Ks is probably me on that. So holler at me, man. Like I said, outside of Black Guys Wrasslin, check out that site, man. Like if you're in the video games, man, check that shit out, man. If you're in the weed, check that shit out. You probably are. I'm high right now. So it's been a pleasure, bro. I had fun, man. I had a good time. I think we murdered this first one, man.
I feel like we got some fire topics. We both expressed our opinions very well throughout this whole thing. This is Black Guys Talmbout Wrasslin. If you like this first episode, let us know in the comments below. Hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that red subscribe button. And we'll be back with more. Peace.